Act 1, Scene 1. David and Rachel's apartment, 11 a.m., September. Like a page out of a home decorating magazine, the place doesn't even look lived in. Rachel Hanson, age 31, is in the process of sorting through a stack of folders and putting them in order. Contrary to her surroundings, Rachel dresses for comfort. Tommy Hanson, age 33, is looking around at the apartment. He wears faded blue jeans, black Converse All-Stars, and a Superman t-shirt. He also carries a messenger-style bag with a well-worn teddy bear sticking out of one of the bag's pouches.
Well?
There's no way you two just moved in. Where's the boxes? Where's the clutter?
Not everyone waits 2 years to unpack.
Was that called for?
Mom was here yesterday.
I
still have no idea where anything is, but it looks nice.
That's Mom for you.
She asked about you.
Okay.
He never calls, she kept saying.
And she knows why.
You can't avoid Dad forever.
15 years forever, what's the difference?
Suit yourself.
It's not like I have much of a choice.
Well, you should be the bigger man.
Look, I know you're trying to be helpful, but this is my issue, not yours.
There's that stubborn Tommy pride I know.
Then
so
you should be
well.
used to it. What's all this?
Sample cases to get me up to speed.
Hey, I was reading that.
Hey, that's privileged information.
Who am I gonna tell?
That's not the point. How would you feel if someone were reading a case study about you?
I'd feel very sorry for them.
You're a freak.
And
nothing. You're just a freak.
what are they giving you hard copies for anyway? You'd think they'd be on computer by now.
That's what they gave me.
Guess I found the clutter.
I like it this way. It's more hands-on.
You're worse than Mom when it comes to technology.
Watch it.
I bet you still have that old answering machine from college.
It still works.
And they call me a pack rat.
Oh, get over yourself.
So, where's this boyfriend of yours?
Out. Setting up his new office.
That shouldn't be too hard. Pencil, paper, all set. Maybe a pen if he knows he'll get the right answer.
Tommy.
I suppose he could always use a calculator if he's not too afraid of technology.
Tommy.
When do I get to meet him?
Up to you.
Probably not for a few days.
Problems at the Hall of Justice.
Cute. My ever so charming editor hates the new costume I designed for Dispatch.
Dispatch?
The comic book I'm drawing.
Oh. That Dispatch.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
Sorry.
I'm hurt.
Do you know the name of the last case I worked on? I didn't think so. So, your editor hates your design.
Yeah, of course, she waited until the night before the deadline to tell me, so I get the honor of redrawing every single panel that has him in it.
Is that hard?
He's the title character.
I see your point.
It took me a week to come up with a design I even liked. I sometimes wonder why I bother.
It's your passion, or so you keep telling me.
Or so I keep telling myself.
What does that mean?
It just used to be fun.
Translation, it isn't fun anymore.
Good deductive work, counselor. I see law school paid off.
Okay, Tommy, this passive-aggressive thing you're doing is getting annoying.
I miss doing my own artwork. All I'm doing lately is catering to the least common denominator.
So do something about it.
Gee, why didn't I think of that?
Here we go again.
Sorry.
What is it you want to do?
I want to call my own shots in life.
Oh, you already do that.
Is that how it seems to you?
That's how it is. You work from home, you set your own hours. As long as you meet your deadlines, you can do whatever you want. Try having to be in court at 8 a.m. every day and having people's lives depend on how well you do your job.
But you like that stuff. Order is what you live for.
And you're all about chaos?
I don't know if I'd go that far. I just like to change it up every so often.
Maybe you need a break.
Maybe I need to get laid.
I really didn't need to know that.
Seriously, I've been single so long, I got carpal tunnel syndrome.
Ew. I'm not going to be able to get rid of that image anytime soon.
Boy, what a prude you turned out to be. You've changed.
With good reason, remember?
How are you doing with that these days?
I'm good. I mean, I hardly think about it anymore. Being with David has really helped.
So he knows.
Not yet.
Rachel,
I never found the right moment.
3.5 years and you couldn't find time?
It didn't seem relevant when we first met. We weren't dating. By the time we were, it was too late to find an easy way.
Well, find a hard way.
You don't understand.
It's not fair to leave him in the dark.
How about what's fair to me? Don't you think that it kills me I may never have kids?
I'm not ignoring that.
You don't know what it's like.
Rachel, I'm a gay man. I am well acquainted with the unlikelihood of having kids.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
Okay, we're really good right now. If I tell him, it'll complicate matters.
And it won't be complicated later on?
I just want to concentrate on being with the man I love. Can't you understand that?
Of course I can. You deserve to live happily ever after.
You deserve it too.
Oh, don't start that.
Oh, I'm serious. There's bound to be someone out there for you.
Boy, one compliment and it's instant matchmaker. This is why I shouldn't be nice.
Tommy, you know it's true.
Even if it is, who says I want it?
You did 2 minutes ago.
No, I said I wanted to get laid. There's a difference.
Like that's going to solve anything.
It might.
There's always Stephen.
Don't even go there.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Well, don't. I'm sorry. I appreciate it. I really do, but it's not.
I get it. Not that I don't enjoy your visit, but what are you doing here anyway?
You mean I can't drop in out of the blue?
You can, you just don't.
Well, you lived all the way in California. It's a little hard to drop by.
You never called either.
Mom? Is that you?
I'm serious.
So am I. I missed you, okay? I know we're not as close as we used to be, and maybe that's my fault, but I'm reaching out here.
Thank you.
Rachel's cell phone rings.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's David. Hey, sweetie. How's the new office looking? Where are you? Oh, I know where that is. Yeah. I'll meet you there. I love you too. Bye. Sorry about that.
Technology, huh?
Yeah, well, surprise.
You need to go?
Yeah, we've got some errands to run.
Okay, that's cool.
Did you want to come along?
No, you've got important stuff to do. I'll catch up with you another time.
Is everything all right, Tommy?
Couldn't be better. I'll see you later.
Tommy exits. Rachel shuts the door behind him as the lights fade to black. Act 1, Scene 2. Hot off the press coffee shop, 11:30 a.m. same day. A small downtown cafe and newsstand. David Sharpe, age 31, is seated at one of the tables, reading a copy of GQ and sipping from a cup of iced tea. He is wearing a styled business suit and a pair of glasses. Opposite him is an untouched cup of iced coffee. After a moment, Rachel rushes in and sees David at the table.
There she is.
Sorry it took so long.
I took the liberty of getting you an iced coffee.
You are too good to me.
Did you get the spare keys?
Yes, we are now officially moved in and unpacked.
Just in time for a dinner party with your folks.
Let me have my coffee before I respond to that one. Oh, I finally got a hold of my brother.
Oh?
Well, actually, he got a hold of me. That's what kept me. He stopped by the apartment.
Did you invite him to dinner?
Tommy and Dad in the same room? What have you been smoking?
It was worth a shot.
No, it wasn't.
Am I ever going to learn what the war is about?
I'm sure you will eventually.
That's not right now.
It's not my place.
Understood. So, why did he come over?
You wanted to see the new place, I guess?
You don't sound convinced.
I get the feeling something was bothering him.
Something big?
I'm not sure. He was definitely trying to tell me something, but the moment kind of got lost when you called.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, don't be. I mean, how could you have known? Tommy says he's looking forward to meeting you, though.
We'll have to arrange it at some point.
Do you think we should postpone dinner?
Where did that come from?
I mean, it's not too late for you to back out, if you don't feel up to it. I mean, they'd understand. At least Mom will. Dad'll rant and rave, but he'll get over it.
Are you that concerned about your parents meeting me?
No, no, not at all.
What then?
I'm concerned about you meeting my parents.
How bad could it be?
You don't know my father.
Is he really that bad?
He takes some getting used to.
Then I'll get used to him.
But
You do love me.
yes, David,
But nothing. This is just the first hurdle. Trust me.
how can you be so sure?
I love you.
David reaches for her hand, but in doing so, he accidentally knocks Rachel's glass all over her.
Oh,
I'm
Oh!
sorry. I'm sorry. Are you okay?
I'm
so
fine.
much for my attempt at romantic bravado.
Someone doesn't know his own strength.
Or at least his klutziness.
I should probably take care of this before it stains.
Okay, I'll clean up here.
Rachel exits to the ladies' room as David continues to clean the spill. After a moment, Tommy enters, still carrying his messenger bag from the last scene. He notices David and smiles. Quickly, he grabs a few napkins and strides to David's table.
Hey, let me help you with that.
Oh, thanks.
Good thing it was iced coffee. Hot coffee and an empty lap don't go well together.
Agreed.
I haven't seen you around here before.
It's my first time. I just moved into town.
Well, let me know if you need a guide.
Thank you, but no.
Your loss.
Thanks for the assist.
Tommy watches as David sits back down and thumbs through his magazine. He notices David staring intently at one of the ads in the magazine. Slowly, Tommy looks over David's shoulder and grins.
Okay, I'll agree. He's cute, but I think the guy on 53 is more your style.
Huh?
Page 53, the guy in the suit.
What about him?
I just think he's more your type. Admittedly, the underwear model you're staring at is hot, but don't you think he's a bit young for you?
It's not what you seem to think.
Not a bad trick you've got there. I mean, GQ guy looking at GQ, no one would be the wiser.
You are completely off base.
My mistake. Word of advice for next time, though, move your eyes a little. It's harder to get caught staring that way.
Why am I even having this conversation?
Feel free to walk away anytime. I mean, it shouldn't matter to you what I think. You afraid I'm gonna unmask you?
I am not afraid of you.
Good. I don't want you to be.
What do you want?
It's kind of a moot point now, don't you think?
David storms off, leaving without his briefcase. Tommy smirks to himself and picks it up.
Hey, Clark.
Huh?
Didn't you forget something?
Did you just call me Clark?
I had to call you something.
Why Clark?
As in Clark Kent, you know? Superman, strange visitor from another world.
I know who Superman is.
Well, did anyone ever tell you you look just like him?
No.
Well, maybe no one's ever taken a good look before.
Tommy offers the briefcase to David, who takes it.
Don't worry, Clark. I'm just having a little fun.
At my expense.
Maybe.
Tommy takes off to the other end of the cafe and notices Rachel return from the ladies' room. Quickly, he hides to avoid being seen. Rachel sneaks up behind David and gives him a peck on the cheek, startling him.
Oh, hi.
You okay?
Yeah. Why?
You look a little on edge.
You just startled me is all. How did it go in there?
About as well as can be expected, I guess.
We should probably get going.
Yeah, I think so.
David and Rachel exit. Tommy comes out of hiding. He smiles as he notices the magazine that David left behind.
Well, I'll be damned.
Act 1, Scene 3. David and Rachel's apartment, 7:30 p.m., same day. Rachel wearing much less comfortable clothes and her mother, Mary, aged 58, wearing an apron over her elegant outfit, are setting the table. More specifically, Rachel sets and Mary adjusts the table setting piece by piece. Rachel's father, John, age 64, is dressed in a suit and is sitting with his feet up in a recliner, watching a baseball game on a large screen TV.
So one of you two kids are going to make me a grandmother?
Mom,
I can't ask?
Mom, we're not even married.
A minor technicality.
I think it's more than a technicality.
You're not getting any younger.
I'm only 30 years old, Mom. I've got my whole life ahead of me.
And your whole life doesn't include a husband and children.
I never said that.
You love him, right?
Yes.
Well, and he loves you. Where's the problem?
Mom, for the last time, If and when David and I get married, it will be when we decide it's the right thing to do.
John, talk some sense into your daughter.
Listen to your mother.
You don't even know what we are talking about.
I'm trying to watch the game here.
John, turn off the television set. Do you think they invited us into their home so you could watch TV?
If Mr. Big Shot Accountant can ignore his guests and talk on the phone for a half an hour, then I can watch TV. That okay with you, little girl?
He's talking with a client. He'll be out when he's done.
Can't the guy call back during normal business hours?
Oh, John, you of all people shouldn't talk about working long hours.
I'm here now, aren't I?
Yes, and we are all so thankful for that.
You hear that, Rachel? Your mother's a comedian.
Dad, promise me you'll be nice.
Aren't I always nice?
Dad. Mom.
John,
Wait until it's a commercial. Hey, turn that back on.
Not until you promise.
Where's the remote?
Is it too much to ask for you to treat David with some respect?
Is it too much to ask for 2 minutes of peace so I can watch the game?
oh, let him watch the game.
Mom.
Everything will be fine, I promise.
Sorry to keep you waiting so long. Am I interrupting anything?
Not at all, darling.
David, this is my mother. Mom, this is David.
I've heard so much about you, Mrs. Hanson.
Oh, you can call me Mom.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
Mother.
Rachel.
Mom.
That wasn't hard. He's adorable.
And this is my father.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Rachel tells me you're an accountant.
Yes, sir.
Successful?
I'd like to think so.
So you have a lot of clients.
I have a few.
They must keep you pretty busy.
At times.
Do you love your job?
Very much so.
How about my daughter?
Dad, you promised.
Glad. I'm just getting to know your boyfriend here.
Well, then stop treating him like he's on trial.
Rachel, it's okay, really. Mr. Hanson, I gather by your question you would like to know my intentions with your daughter.
No, I'm more interested in your actions.
How do you mean?
I want to make sure you're giving my little girl the attention she deserves.
Dad, please. You make me sound like a baby on a doorstep.
Well, speaking of baby,
Mom.
how long before you and Rachel start a family?
Well, Mrs. Hanson,
Mom.
Mom, that's not something we want to rush into.
But you must have talked about it.
Well, of course we have, but I just
But
think...
right now, we want to concentrate on us.
Are you sleeping together?
Do you think one of us sleeps in the bathtub?
I don't think that's what your father meant.
Oh, I know what he meant. We have been together for 3 years now. Of course we've slept together.
Rachel...
Is that what you want to hear?
No. What I want to hear is the game. But you turned the TV off.
Fine. Watch all you want. Let me know when there's a commercial. Maybe you can use those 2 minutes to say something civil.
Rachel.
Mr. Hanson, I can understand that you don't care for me, even though we have only just met.
Oh, no, that's not true.
And I respect that. And Mrs. Hanson,
Mom.
Mom, you think I would be the perfect son-in-law, even though we have only just met. I'm sorry, but how the two of you feel about me is completely irrelevant. The only thing that matters to me right now is Rachel, and making sure this dinner goes well for her. I hope we can all agree on that.
Of course, dear. Isn't that right, John?
Mr. Hanson?
Tell me something, Mr. Sharpe. You've been dating my daughter for how long now?
Just over 3 years.
And how long have you been living together?
1 year, but you know all this.
Correct. But what I don't know is why I haven't met you before tonight.
Well, that makes 2 of us, sir.
John, is this really necessary?
Yes.
Forgive me for saying this, but I think Rachel is afraid of what you might do if you disapproved of me.
David.
No, I really think he should hear this. To be perfectly blunt, sir, I know there's a rift between you and your son.
My relationship with my son is none of your concern.
I beg to differ. What's to keep you from doing the same to her? Mr. Hanson, with all due respect, I don't care whether you approve of me or not. I'd prefer it if you did, but I am not going to lose any sleep if you don't. I love your daughter very much, I have every intention of making her my wife, if she will have me, and when the time is right for us. Do I make myself clear, sir?
Now that's the backbone I was waiting for. Good job. See, Mary, I knew he'd come through. Hey, don't give me that look.
Yeah, you're lucky a look is all I'm giving you.
I need to wash up. Which way is the bathroom?
Down the hall to the right.
John exits.
Well, that's my cue to put dinner on the table.
Mary runs off into the kitchen. Rachel follows her.
Mom, you're the guest here. I'm supposed to be serving.
That's okay, dear. I've got it.
Mom!
The doorbell rings.
David, can you get that?
Sure. Are you expecting anyone?
David opens the door to reveal Tommy, who is once again carrying his messenger bag with the teddy bear in tow. He's also holding David's rolled up copy of GQ in his hand.
Good evening, Clark. Is Lois in?
What the hell are you doing here?
You forgot your magazine.
Get out.
I thought you weren't afraid of me.
That was before I knew you were stalking me.
Full of yourself much?
If you weren't stalking me, then how'd you find out where I lived?
Ooh, that would be telling, wouldn't it?
All right, I want you out of here now.
David grabs Tommy with the intent of throwing him out. The two engage in a minor scuffle toward the door.
David, what's going on?
Nothing to worry about, Rachel. It's just me.
Tommy?
Hey, sis.
Tommy?
Surprise.
Rachel runs out of the kitchen with Mary right behind.
Mom?
Your sister didn't tell me you were coming.
John comes out of the bathroom and notices Tommy.
What is he doing here?
Why didn't you tell me they'd be here?
Why didn't you tell me you were coming back?
Will somebody kindly tell me what's going on?
That's what I'd like to know.
Everybody calm down.
Tommy turns to leave.
Where do you think you're going?
Like it matters to you.
Oh, let him go. Running away is what he does best.
Pay no attention to him. Please stay.
I'm sorry, Mom.
John, talk to your son.
Don't waste your breath. He's not going to acknowledge me.
Tommy, please tell me what's going on.
Isn't it obvious? I screwed up again.
Dad, say something.
I've got nothing to say.
Great. I've been trying to get you to shut up all evening, and now you have nothing to say.
Mom, I'm not worth it.
Tommy.
I'm sorry.
Tommy starts toward the door. David is still blocking the way. Tommy stops face to face with David.
For what it's worth, Clark, I came over to call a truce.
Tommy offers the magazine to David, who doesn't take it. David glances at Rachel and then to John before returning his gaze to Tommy. David then steps aside, allowing Tommy to leave.
Why'd you let him leave?
Why was he here in the first place?
Oh, now you're interested.
He has no business here.
He's your son.
If he wants to live his life that way, then that's what he gets.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me this whole war is because Tommy's gay?
It isn't because he's an artist.
Mother, you are not helping.
And when were you all planning to tell me this?
Who said this was any of your business?
John.
How I handle my affairs is none of your concern. I'm not about to sit here and be judged by you.
You're right. You're not. Get out of my home.
I beg your pardon.
You heard me.
Are you two going to let him speak to me like that?
Well, you did say you wanted him to have a backbone.
Rachel?
Dad, you should go.
John.
Come on, Mary. We're leaving.
John walks toward the front door and opens it. Mary removes her apron, folds it, and places it on the dining table. As she walks toward him, John leaves.
Mom, you can stay if you want.
Nonsense, dear.
Mrs. Hanson, you really don't have to go.
Now, what did I just tell you about calling me Mom? When you speak to your brother, tell him to call me.
Mary leaves.
I can't believe you did that.
I wasn't about to let him badmouth Tommy all night.
You didn't have to throw him out.
I didn't see you disagreeing with me.
But you put me on the spot. What was I supposed to do?
I'm not about to placate the man just because he's your father.
No one asked you to.
Isn't that what you're doing right now?
David.
He's your brother.
And he's the first person to say, leave it alone.
I can't.
I know, and I love you for it, but you are taking it too personally.
How can I not?
Well, just give it time. It'll work itself out.
No. Someone needs to put a stop to it.
Oh, I've tried. Believe me.
What if it were one of our kids? Would you make excuses then?
Enough with the kids already.
I'm just saying.
Well, stop. You're as bad as my mother sometimes.
What was that for?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take this out on you.
Talk to me. What's going on?
I'm okay. Really.
What can I do?
Just hold me.
David embraces her from behind as the lights fade to black. Act 1, Scene 4. Tommy's apartment, 3 p.m. the following day. Small studio apartment above hot off the press. The overall look of the place is a combination of clutter and nostalgia. In focus are a futon with an accompanying coffee table and a desk with a drawing board. Tommy's teddy bear is sitting on the futon along with David's copy of GQ. An acoustic guitar is leaning against the wall nearby. Tommy is at his desk, frantically trying to finish drawing a page of artwork. There is a knock at the door. Tommy tries to ignore it, but it keeps continuing. Storming to the door, he opens to reveal David.
Hello?
What do you want?
Would you believe I'm trying to see if you're okay?
No,
Well, I am.
I'm fine. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do.
You're not going to get rid of me that easily.
You've done your good deed, Clark. Go fly on back to the Daily Planet.
Will you knock it off with the Superman crap?
Fine. Get out, David.
What exactly were you hoping to accomplish yesterday? First, you try to pick me up at the coffee shop.
What makes you so sure I was trying to pick you up?
Oh, come on, Tommy. Give me some credit. You meet me for what, 5 seconds? And just because I happen to be looking at a magazine a little too long for your liking, you have my entire life figured out.
That wasn't what I was trying to do.
And then, when you see me with Rachel, do you admit you were wrong? No. Do you even let her know you were there? No. You invite yourself to our home to ambush and humiliate me.
I was trying to
And
find out.
now, because your ambush backfired on you, you're the victim.
So that's why you're here. To gloat.
I am trying to understand you. I'm sure somehow, in some screwed up way, everything you did yesterday made perfect sense to you.
What do you get when you put 2 and 2 together?
What?
You heard me.
I don't understand.
Just answer the question.
What do I get when I put 2 and 2 together?
For an accountant, math doesn't appear to be your strong suit.
4.
Are you sure?
What else could it be?
Exactly.
You're talking in riddles.
You really have no idea how close to the answer you are.
This is all a game to you.
Life is a game, David. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
So explain.
I asked you what you get when you put 2 and 2 together, and you said,
4, but you said that's wrong.
no. I asked you if you were sure of your answer.
What else could it be?
That's what I'm asking you.
Suppose the answer could be 22.
And why 22?
You didn't actually ask me to add the numbers, just to put them together.
Now you're getting it.
Come to think of it, you might have been talking figuratively, like you want me to come up with an answer.
Exactly. The same question can have many answers.
What does this have to do with me?
Same principle. I put 2 and 2 together and thought you were a closeted homosexual who needed a push out into the open.
And you decided to be the one to push.
Sure, why not? Color me surprised when I found out you're playing house with my sister.
So it should have ended right there.
Only if I was wrong.
You saw me with Rachel.
It wouldn't have been the first time a fag dated his hag.
And what if you were wrong?
Then I'd be a complete asshole and owe you an apology.
You said it, not me.
I am sorry.
I know. And I am still mad at you.
I know.
I'm willing to start over if you are.
I suppose, if nothing else, you and my dad probably ended up the best of buddies.
How do you figure that?
Common enemy? Yours truly?
I think throwing him out killed any chances of that.
You threw him out?
I didn't like what he had to say about you.
But you don't even like me.
That had nothing to do with it.
And I thought I was screwed up.
He cut you out of his life because you're gay.
And?
What do you mean, and?
Don't get me wrong. I'm glad you did it. I just don't see why it made a difference to you. How he treats me, or rather how he doesn't treat me, shouldn't affect you.
Don't be so sure. I was staring at the ad.
What?
I was staring at the ad for the very reason you thought I was.
Fuck you!
What was that for?
I believed you!
I'm not saying I'm gay.
Well, make up your mind already.
That's my whole point. I'm bisexual.
Oh, come on. You can do better than that.
It's not the first time I've gotten that reaction.
With good reason. Every gay man goes through that phase. It's a stepping stone for the heterosexually challenged.
This isn't me in some hopeless denial. I've had enough experience with both men and women over the years to know that this isn't some delusional phase.
And what about Rachel?
I love Rachel.
That's not what I meant.
In the entire time I have been with her, I have been completely and utterly faithful to her.
Why should I believe you?
If I were in denial about my sexuality, would I have taken a risk in telling you?
I guess not.
I'm not the least bit interested in being with anyone else, male or female.
Underwear models notwithstanding?
Well, I can look, can't I?
I guess.
And you were right. He was hot. But even if I had met him downstairs instead of you, I still would have gone home with Rachel.
What if you and Rachel had never met? What are the chances that you would have been interested?
Oh, I would have definitely gone home with the underwear model.
That's not what I was actually going to ask you.
I know what you were going to ask.
Does Rachel know?
Yes. Is she completely comfortable with it? Probably not.
Why do you say that?
You said it yourself. Every gay man goes through this phase.
You think she's afraid you'll leave her for a guy?
On some level, yes.
Well, you could just as easily leave her for another woman.
I don't want to leave her for anybody. What?
Rachel is so lucky to have you.
Wow. An unsolicited compliment. I'm not sure what to say.
How about thank you?
Thank you. Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
What exactly happened between you and your father?
What's there to tell? He just has this problem with me liking cock.
Oh, there has to be more to it than that.
Why?
Call it a hunch. That and you're cutting off that teddy bear's circulation.
Enough with the investigative reporting, Clark.
Oh, great. Now I'm back to Clark again. Thought we reached an understanding.
I thought so too.
I am trying to help you.
Don't waste your time. I'm not worth it.
That's the second time I heard you say that.
How many more times do I need to say it before you'll listen?
What happened?
I can't. I mean, I want to be able to, but I can't.
Because you don't trust me.
Don't take it personally. I don't trust anybody.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. You've seen my people skills. It's better this way.
Tommy, please let me help you.
This isn't easy for me.
I know.
I've never told anybody this.
Maybe it's time you did.
Why is it so important to you?
It just is.
Fine, Clark. You get your story.
Thank you.
I don't know why I'm telling you this. I had two best friends growing up. The first was my dad. You wouldn't know it looking at us now, but we were inseparable. We did everything together.
Like what?
Well, for starters, we'd spend a week every summer hiking and fishing in New Hampshire.
Camping under the stars, huh?
Not exactly. I always wanted to, but Dad would always make up some excuse and we'd end up in a cabin. It wasn't until I was older that I found out the real reason. He could never figure out how to set up a tent.
Didn't realize it was that difficult.
You're missing the point. He didn't want to look weak in front of me, so he avoided the issue.
And your other friend?
Stephen Wagner. He lived next door to us. We used to spend every day after school reading comic books.
Let me guess. Superman?
Among others, Stop Interrupting.
Sorry.
Every week, we scraped together whatever money we could and bought a whole stack of them and just kept reading and rereading them until they fell apart. It wasn't long until we made up our own characters. The plan was to make our own comic book someday. Steven would be the writer, he got straight A's in English, and I draw the pictures.
I'm guessing that didn't happen.
We never even started it. When we were both 10, his dad got a job out of state and he had to move.
Did you ever see each other again?
We'd call each other and write letters, but it wasn't the same as living next door. Dad saw how upset I was, so he said I could invite Steven with us that summer. We had so much fun, he came with us the next few summers.
Until...
It was my 15th birthday, and we were up at the cabin. Dad had gone into town to get some pizza and stuff to celebrate. Steven and I got talking about how much we missed each other during the year, and I noticed he was crying. I asked him what was wrong, but he wouldn't tell me. He just kept crying, saying if he told me, I wouldn't be his friend anymore. I told him I would always be his friend no matter what. That's when he told me that he was in love with me. He said he knew what was wrong and he must be sick and that I must be mad at him for telling me. I told him I wasn't mad and it wasn't wrong and he wasn't sick and that I loved him too. Being 15, we escalated pretty quickly from kissing to undressing each other. Unfortunately, we were so wrapped up in each other that we didn't hear Dad's car or his footsteps up the walkway or the opening of the front door. Next thing I knew, we were in the car on our way back home. Not one word was spoken the entire trip. I fully expected the world to end when we got to Steven's house, but that didn't happen. Dad made up some excuse to Steven's parents that an emergency had come up at work and he needed to come back early. Then, as if nothing was wrong, he told me to say goodbye. Dad was there the entire time, so I couldn't say what I was really feeling. When we got back in the car, Dad said he didn't tell them what happened because if word got out he had a faggot for a son, it would cost him his career. As far as any outsiders were concerned, we were still one big, happy family. Privately, he was done with me. I heard Steven's dad got transferred again a few months later. As time went on, I kept wondering what he was up to, if he still thought about me, if he blamed me for what happened. A couple of weeks ago, I finally got up the courage to try to find him. I thought maybe I could make up for what happened, that there might still be a chance we could be together. But I couldn't find any traces of him. After some searching, I found his family in Chicago. As luck would have it, I was a panelist at a convention in town, so I dropped in on them. His mom answered the door. I told her who I was and that I was hoping to find Steven. And she told me that he had been really upset since the trip. He withdrew from everything and everybody. She kept trying to find out what was bothering him, but he never said. One night, it got so bad, he took the sheets from his bed. She found him the next morning. It was my fault.
It wasn't.
If I hadn't asked him to tell me how he felt, if I hadn't told him how I felt, if I hadn't kissed him.
Stop it.
All those years, I didn't even know. Steven killed himself and I didn't even know.
Tommy, you're not to blame. It was his choice. It wasn't your fault. I am so sorry.
David holds Tommy in his arms as the lights fade to black. Act 1, Scene 5. Hot off the press, coffee shop. A Friday in April, 11:30 a.m. Rachel, dressed in business attire, is pacing the floor as she talks on her cell phone. She has a cup of iced coffee in front of her, which she has not had the chance to touch.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mom. Yes, I get it. Just not this weekend. I'm sorry. Well, who told you to defrost your freezer this very moment in time? It's not like you thawed everything already. We can have the feast another weekend. We're not going anywhere.
David wanders in carrying his briefcase.
Sorry I'm late.
Mom, this is officially the silliest conversation I have ever had with you. I'm just saying. I know. I know. Mom, hold on. David wants to talk to you.
I beg your pardon.
You laugh, you pay.
I did not laugh.
She wants us over for her famous defrosted feast. I can't, not after this week. Please, for me.
David pauses ever so slightly to make her wait before taking the phone. She swats him playfully as she grabs her coffee from the table and heads to the counter for sugar.
Hi, Mom. How are you? Yes, she told me. I'm afraid I have to agree with her. Work has been insane for us this week. Right. We could use some us time. I'll check. How does next weekend sound?
Whatever.
Next week is great.
David watches Rachel as she stirs her coffee with her back to him.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, this morning. It's perfect. Thank you. No, she has no idea. I'm not sure yet. I will let you know. I have to go. Please give my regards to Mr. Hanson. I know. I will talk with you later. Bye.
Is the coast clear?
You owe me big.
I'm good for it. Besides, I think she likes you better.
And even after I kicked her out last year. Go figure.
It wasn't exactly her you kicked out.
Even so.
Dad still won't let that go.
I can't say I blame him. Another rough day in the courtroom.
Jury is finally in deliberation.
There's your light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, you got yours yesterday.
There's still the extensions to wade through.
Weekend of nothing, here we come.
So no defrosted feasts then?
Don't make me hurt you.
We wouldn't have to cook.
Oh, I'm not cooking anyway.
Is that a hint?
If you want it to be.
What do I get out of the deal?
My gratitude.
Try again.
My eternal gratitude.
You're not making a very good case, counselor.
I love you.
Objection. She's trying to lead the witness.
Overruled. The witness is already there.
You know it.
David kisses her tenderly just as Rachel's cell phone chirps a text message.
I really hate technology.
Do I want to know?
The jury's out of deliberation.
That was fast.
4 weeks in court, 4 minutes making a decision. So much for lunch.
Want me to walk you back?
No, that's okay. I'll see you at home.
You know I love you.
Always.
Rachel kisses him goodbye before rushing off with her coffee.
Go get him.
As he watches her leave, David takes his laptop computer out of his briefcase and begins to work. After a moment, Tommy walks inside and notices David. Tommy is dressed similarly to the previous scenes, but he is wearing a different Superman t-shirt. As always, Tommy is carrying his messenger bag, and his teddy bear is along for the ride. David is engrossed in his work, oblivious to Tommy. Smiling, Tommy reaches into his bag, pulls out a more recent copy of GQ, and strides up to David's table. David looks up and notices Tommy, who hands him the magazine.
I hear your favorite model's got a new spread on page 32.
You'd think after 9 months you'd find new material.
The setup was too good. I couldn't resist.
I'm surprised you're even conscious at this hour.
I haven't been to bed yet.
How many all-nighters does that make this week?
3, but not necessarily in a row.
You're insane.
Is that why you only come here in the mornings, hoping to avoid me?
Now, would I do that?
Yes.
You know very well why I haven't gotten out of the office.
Oh yeah, tax season.
Beware the Ides of April.
Which reminds me, you never told me how much I owe you for my returns.
I did tell you. You don't owe me anything.
I'm not looking for a handout, David.
You're my girlfriend's brother.
And
My friend.
And
I don't feel right charging you.
so knock 10% off and call it a day.
I've got a better idea. Think you could design some invitations for me?
Anything I'd be invited to?
Of course.
I think I can arrange that.
Good. Now that we have that squared away,
Wait a minute. Aren't you going to tell me what they're for?
can you keep a secret?
Have we not met?
David removes a small box from his briefcase and hands it to Tommy, who opens it to reveal an engagement ring.
Oh, Clark, this is all so sudden.
Knock it off.
Does this mean what I think it means?
If you think I'm proposing to Rachel, then yes. I just need to figure out how I'm going to do it.
Don't look at me.
I wasn't asking for your input.
Good, because I wouldn't be able to offer you any.
You mean you've never thought about it?
Honestly, no.
Expecting to be the proposee?
I'm not expecting to be in the situation, period.
Why not? It's legal. The Supreme Court said so.
Yeah, but good luck finding someone to bake the cake.
Now you're just making excuses.
David, legal or not, it doesn't mean I have to want it.
I'm surprised. I mean, I know you keep to yourself a lot, but I just assumed that if you met someone you wanted to be with, you'd want to.
I don't need a piece of paper to prove I love somebody.
It's more than a piece of paper. It's a public statement that you're giving your whole self to the other person.
And how many of these marriages end in divorce? How many of these marriages have a partner who is cheating on the other?
That's not the point.
David, that is the point. Yes, marriage is a great thing in theory, but too many times people get married simply because they think it's what they're supposed to do.
Is this your way of saying I shouldn't propose to Rachel?
Of course not. Marriage works for you. I'm glad. I just don't think it's for me. I am curious, though. Would you be as gung-ho about it if you were dating a guy?
I guess. I don't really have a point of reference.
I thought you said you had plenty of experience with both genders.
But I have only been in love with a woman. All my experience with guys has been just sex.
I see.
Hey, you asked.
Could you ever see yourself in love with a guy?
I'm about to propose to your sister.
Forget her for a minute.
What?
You know what I mean. Hypothetically, if you never met Rachel, could you see yourself in a relationship with a guy that isn't just about sex?
Hypothetically? Yes, sure. Why not?
But
But it makes having kids a bit more difficult.
that's important to you.
Very.
You could adopt.
It's not the same as having one of my own.
Well, you could use a surrogate.
Why are we having this conversation?
Just to have it.
I don't see the point. I'm with Rachel. The hypotheticals don't have anything to do with it.
I didn't mean anything by it. I was just curious.
I know, but can we drop it?
Sure. Does anyone else know about the proposal?
I'm sure the jeweler has a pretty good idea.
I'm gonna smack you.
Your mom knows.
Ah, the old asking the daughter's hand thing.
Something like that. She helped me pick out the ring.
Ah. Does my dad know?
Only if she told him. He and I don't really speak.
Nice to know I'm not the only one anymore.
I'm not happy about it.
You get used to it. Anyway, I should get back upstairs. I still have another 12 hours before I can even think of sleep.
Oh, I don't know how you can live like that.
It's not like I have anything else to do.
Well, give me a call when you're done with the book. Maybe the three of us can get together.
Sure, or the two of us, whatever works.
Okay.
Good luck with the proposal.
I'll let you know the details about the invitations later.
Cool. Oh, and David,
Yes?
in case I haven't said it already, I really appreciate you being there for me the past few months.
We're friends, Tommy. That's what we do.
I'm serious. I was going through a lot when we met. Anyone else would have let me crash and burn. What I'm trying to say is, if you ever need someone to talk to for whatever reason, I'm there.
I appreciate it.
With that, Tommy turns and leaves. David watches him as the lights fade to black. Act 1, Scene 6. David and Rachel's apartment, 11 a.m., 2 days later, Sunday. Rachel has fallen asleep on the couch with the TV on. After a moment, David enters carrying a tray of breakfast. He stops to turn the TV off. Rachel senses his presence and opens her eyes.
Oh, you're awake.
Barely. What's all this?
Breakfast in bed.
This is the couch.
Do you want it or not?
What's the occasion?
You said you wanted me to cook.
And you did.
Well, the weekend's not over. And besides, it's not like I've never made you breakfast in bed before.
Yes, and you've always had a reason.
I'll be right back.
You're not playing fair.
I was just getting some for me.
Well, you could have said that.
I could have, but apparently I don't play fair.
Ha ha.
You honestly don't remember what today is.
Sunday?
Besides that,
Well, it's not my birthday.
right?
It's not your birthday.
Why would I make you breakfast in bed for my birthday?
I don't know. You're crazy like that?
Nice try.
And then I am out of ideas.
Does the last chance to party before finals party ring any bells?
Of course it does. That's where you and I met.
Bingo.
Wait, that was right around this time.
4 years ago to the day.
How do you remember details like that?
Easy. That was the day my life changed for the better.
Oh, stop.
I'm serious.
I know. It's sweet.
It's not my fault you didn't feel the same way.
I think it was good we didn't date right away. We were able to get to know each other as friends.
Well, I have to tell you, in my mind, we were dating the whole time.
You always were a glutton for punishment. Good thing you finally won me over. Although falling out of a tree to do it was a bit much.
It was your idea to go apple picking.
I'm not the one who told you to climb all the way to the top.
Well, that's what I used to do when I was a kid. You get the best apples that way.
Sweetie, you weighed much less when you were a kid.
That had nothing to do with it. I just slipped.
Well, that slip almost got you killed.
I didn't fall that far.
I'm still surprised you didn't break anything when you landed.
I was one big bruise for the next month. Does that count?
No.
I knew that's all it would take for you to love me. I'd have fallen out of a tree much sooner.
So that's why you made me breakfast in bed, the anniversary of the day we met.
Part of it.
You mean there's more?
Of course there is.
I think you've been spending too much time with Tommy. His mischievous nature is starting to rub off on you.
I'm not sure how to take that.
Good. So, what's your other reason?
Don't you want to finish your breakfast first?
I mean, not when you're being all mysterious like that.
I'm not trying to be. I just had it all planned out.
Had what all planned out?
I want to tell you a story that my father told me when I was little. Actually, it's actually more of a life lesson than a story. Picture yourself sitting on the side of an unfamiliar road in the middle of nowhere on a foggy day. The fog is so thick that you can't see what's on the other side. The only way to find out is to walk across, but there's no way of telling what might happen when you try. A car could come down the road and strike you. You could trip and break your leg, or even worse, you might not find anything when you get there. But nothing that could happen to you on the journey would be as tragic as still sitting there in your old age, wondering what might have been. You know I love you, right?
Of course I do. And I love you.
David reaches into his pocket and places the ring box in her hand.
What's this?
Open it and find out. I figured today would be the perfect day to do this. And I can't think of anyone I would rather spend my life with. I want to grow old with you. I want to watch our children grow up and have children of their own. I love you, Rachel. Will you marry me? Rachel? You're starting to worry me.
I'm sorry.
What?
I can't.
You love me, right?
You know I do.
And you enjoy spending time with me.
Of course.
Making breakfast in bed, making love.
David tries to kiss her, but she pulls away.
What is it? What's bothering you?
I can't.
Please, talk to me.
I need more time.
Oh, heard that before.
Please.
This is just like when we first met. It took you 6 months to realize what I already knew the first day.
Well, that was different.
No, it's the same thing. Just like when I wanted you to move in with me and when it was time for me to meet your family.
Meeting my family was a disaster.
But it turned out okay. Tommy and I are friends. Your mother is our biggest supporter.
And my father.
He'll come around one of these days.
And if he doesn't?
Then it's his loss. I can't promise you everything's going to be perfect.
I'm not saying I don't want to spend my life with you.
Well, it's starting to sound like you don't.
David, I told you, I need more time.
And how much more time do you need? A month?
I don't know.
A year?
I don't know.
10 years?
David.
It's always going to be more time with you.
I love you, David.
I love you too. That's why I want to marry you.
I can't. Not right now.
Why?
David.
I need you to give me a reason.
I can't.
More like you won't.
Oh, don't be like that.
Then tell me. Is it because of my past? Do you not want to marry me because I used to date guys?
Okay, that has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Are you sure?
David, would I have been with you all this time if I had a problem with that?
Then what is it?
I can't tell you.
I guess this is it then.
What do you mean?
You're obviously not the person I thought you were.
What are you saying?
I have told you everything there is to know about me. Good, bad, you know it all. Is it too much to ask for the same thing from you?
Why is it all or nothing with you? Can't you just accept that I'm having a difficult time right now?
It's always going to be a difficult time. If we can't be honest with one another, what do we have?
I love you, David. I do.
But you don't trust me.
What are you saying? If I don't marry you, that it's over?
No. But we don't have much of a future if you can't give me a reason why.
Where are you going?
I need to not be here right now.
I don't want you to go.
You already know what it'll take to stop me.
I love you, David. David, please. David. Please don't go.
Rachel reaches for him, but he pulls away from her and quietly leaves. Rachel remains motionless as the magnitude of the situation begins to sink in. A moment later, the telephone rings. Rachel doesn't notice it, but after the fourth ring, the answering machine picks up.
Hi, you've reached Rachel.
And David, we're not in at the moment.
But we would love to get back to you.
Please leave your name and number, and we'll call you back as soon as we can.
The answering machine beeps.
Rachel? David, are you there? Pick up if you are. Your father's on his way to the hospital. He's had a heart attack. Rachel, honey, please pick up. David, are you there?
Rachel notices her mother's voice and answers the phone. The machine clicks off.
Mom?
End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 1. Hospital waiting room. 1:00 p.m. same day. Mary is seated, staring blankly, almost like a china doll that has been glued back together one too many times. Tommy enters dressed as he usually is and is carrying his bag and bear. He takes a seat across from Mary. She senses his presence. Without looking in his direction, she speaks to him.
I'm glad you came.
I told you I would.
I hope you'll forgive me for being doubtful.
I have to tell you, though, I'm only here for you and Rachel.
I know.
I didn't want you to think that I was
I
gonna...
said I know. You don't have to explain.
How are you doing?
I'm numb. I don't think it's even registered yet.
That's normal, I guess.
I'm also scared.
You don't need to be. He's far too stubborn to let something like this stop him. Besides, you've got me and Rachel.
Thank you.
Where is she anyway?
She's on her way. She should be here any minute. How's work?
Steady. I can't really complain much.
I heard you got offered an exclusive contract.
How do you find out about that? I haven't told anybody yet.
My mother has her ways.
Okay.
I read about it on one of those comic book fan sites.
What were you doing there?
Well, you never tell me what you're working on, so I had to find out for myself. Why is that funny?
I didn't even know you could use a computer, let alone log on with the fanboys.
You'd be surprised what I can figure out if I set my mind to it.
Apparently.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. But are you really sure you want to talk about this right now?
Yes, it keeps my mind off things.
I'll tell you what. I'll see if I can get my editor to send you some copies of the books I've worked on.
I'd like that.
I can't get over you being interested in this stuff.
You're my son. Of course I'm going to be interested in your artwork.
That means a lot.
I have to ask, who's the new man in your life?
What?
Who's the new man in your life?
What are you talking about?
Well, I hope you don't mind me saying so, dear, but I couldn't help noticing that you seem happier lately. I naturally assumed there was a new man in your life.
Because I'm happier, I have to have a new boyfriend? Could it just be that I've finally gotten my career to where I want it?
It's more than that. It's not just that you're happy, but more like the way you're happy.
The way I'm happy.
Don't take this the wrong way, but you're actually pleasant to be around for a change. The other week when you and I were at your sister's, you were actively participating in the conversation. And not because you felt you had to, but because you enjoyed it. It's a side of you I haven't seen in a long time. To be perfectly frank, I haven't seen you this happy since Stephen.
What does Stephen have to do with anything?
Well, there is that old saying about never forgetting your first love. Or did you think I didn't know how you felt about him?
How could you not know? Dad caught us at it.
I'm not talking about adolescent hormones running wild. I'm talking about true love for another person. I could sense that bond between you two, even when you were children. I wasn't always able to identify it for what it was, but I knew. Am I wrong?
No. I miss him.
Well, have you ever thought about getting back in contact with him?
I tried doing that last year. Let's just say it didn't turn out the way I wanted.
He didn't want to talk to you?
That's not exactly what I meant.
Well, what then?
Mom, Stephen died. Years ago, he killed himself.
Oh, that poor sweet boy.
Please don't cry, Mom, because then I'll start.
I wish you had told me.
I don't want to tell anybody. I kept blaming myself for it.
It wasn't your fault.
I know that now.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Mom, I want to ask you something about you and Dad, but I'm not exactly sure how to put it without offending you.
Yeah, you want to know why I stayed with your father all these years. I've often asked myself that question. We both know he's not the easiest person to get along with, but then again, that's a trait you and he share.
How can you say that? I am nothing like him.
I'm not not saying it to be cruel. You both are so passionate that once you get an idea into your head, no one can make you change your mind. And Lord help anyone who tries. But that passion, that pig-headedness that you and he share, comes from having a kind soul and good intentions.
Then how do you explain what he did to me?
Look at it from his point of view. Your father's whole life has been about doing what is expected of him and making sure others did so as well. It's probably why he got into law in the first place. It's definitely why he pursued a career as a judge. I had never seen him as happy as he was when he found out he had a son. You were the center of his life, and he had all the best hopes and dreams for passing his legacy on to you. When he saw you and Stephen together, he was devastated. Everything he'd worked so hard to achieve was now meaningless to him if he couldn't pass it on. Rather than dealing with it, he did the only thing he knew how to do. He shut down.
So, because he didn't get his way of life, that gives him the right to shut me out?
Isn't that what you do when you don't want to deal with us?
That's different.
Why did I have to go searching online to find out how your work was going? Why didn't you tell me about trying to reconnect with Stephen? Why did you appear unannounced at your sister's dinner party and then disappear just as quickly? It's a defense mechanism you and your father share. Now, I'm not excusing his behavior, just like I'm not excusing yours.
Rachel enters with great trepidation.
We're over here, dear.
How is he?
Well, the doctor seemed to think it was minor, but they're still running tests.
It was a heart attack, though.
That's what they're telling me.
How are you?
You know me, I'll deal with it when it's all over.
I wish I could be like that.
Now, your way is probably healthier in the long run.
Where's David? What did I say?
Did something happen?
What's going on?
I don't know where David is. It's all over.
What are you talking about? What's all over?
Us, David and me.
Oh, nonsense. I happen to know for a fact how much David loves you and what he plans to do about it.
Mom, she might not know about that yet.
You're not spoiling anything. He proposed to me this morning.
Then I don't understand.
I said no.
What?
How could you turn that boy down? He loves you.
I wanted to say yes, but I couldn't, and now I think I've lost him for good.
Rachel, I know David. He's not going to give up on you.
Just tell him you've thought it over and you'll marry him after all.
I'm not ready.
Okay, you and David have been together for almost 4 years. You should be married already.
Mom.
I should be a grandmother by now.
Mom, this is not the time to be worried about grandchildren.
I've already accepted the fact that you won't be having any children. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't look forward to hers.
Because I can't have any.
What do you mean you can't have any?
Rachel, she deserves to know.
You already know? And neither one of you bothered to tell me. Unbelievable.
Rachel.
About 5 years ago, when I was still in college, I had an ectopic pregnancy.
You had a what?
An ectopic pregnancy, Mom. You know, where the fetus grows in the tubes.
I know what it is.
The damage was enough that the doctors recommended I not try getting pregnant again.
Oh, dear Lord. Who was the father?
I had a one-night stand with a guy I met at a party.
Oh, Rachel, I raised you better than that.
I went to visit her about a month or so afterwards.
I had no idea I was even pregnant.
The night I got there, she took me to a party at one of her friends.
Another party.
Mom, please.
We were hanging out at the end of the night, and I started to get the sharp stomach pains.
I took her to the hospital, and that's where we found out.
You two had no right to keep this from me.
I didn't want to keep it from you.
But there was no way we could tell you without Dad finding out.
Your father should have been told.
Why? So he could disown her?
He wouldn't have done that.
How can you be sure?
He's your father. He loves you.
You mean like he loved me?
Look, if you're going to be mad at somebody, be mad at me and not at Tommy. Okay, it was my mistake. It was my decision to hide it.
It was our decision. If I didn't think it was the right thing to do, I wouldn't have done it.
I'm sorry, Mom.
We both are.
We didn't do it to hurt you.
Besides you two, who else knows about this?
No one.
Not even David?
No.
I thought you were going to tell him.
I wasn't ready.
Are you ever going to be ready?
Tommy,
That's why he left, isn't it?
leave her alone. You're not helping.
I'm not trying to. I can't believe you turned him down and refused to tell him why.
It wasn't like that.
Then how was it?
Keep your voices down, both of you.
You should have told him years ago. Then he would have known what he was getting into.
And if he left me then?
He wouldn't have. He loves you.
How can you be sure?
He proposed to you. That's got to count for something.
You don't understand.
David loves you unconditionally. And this is how you treat him?
I love David.
Too bad you don't deserve him.
Rachel slaps Tommy. Without a word, Tommy turns away from her and runs out as the lights fade to black. Act 2, Scene 2. Tommy's apartment, 10 o'clock p.m., same day. Tommy is working at his desk. David paces as he watches Tommy.
You sure you're okay with my being here?
Where else you gonna go?
David follows him and plops himself on the futon, unknowingly sitting on Tommy's teddy bear.
I'm still not sure. This isn't how I expected today to go.
You and me both.
David notices Tommy's guitar, picks it up, and begins playing a melancholy tune.
I didn't know you could play.
Yeah, most of my life. I haven't had a lot of time lately, though, so I'm a bit rusty.
You sound better than I do.
I highly doubt that.
I'm serious.
Well, let's hear you.
I never learned how to play. I keep wanting to, but I've never been patient enough.
Why do you keep it out?
Maybe someday I'll find the patience. Do you want to talk about it?
Do I have to?
No, but you'll probably feel better.
I could say the same about you and your father's heart attack.
Touché.
David realizes he is sitting on something and shifts his weight to find out what.
What am I sitting on?
David pulls the teddy bear out from beneath him.
You crushed him!
I'm sorry, I didn't see it there when I sat down.
David hands the bear to Tommy, who holds it to himself.
Next time, be a little more careful. He's fragile.
Okay, Tommy, what is it with you and the bear anyway?
I know how it must sound, but he's the last thing Stephen ever gave me. Edgar here has helped me through a lot over the years.
Edgar, huh?
Hey, I didn't name him.
I didn't mean to sit on him.
I know. And I know I overreacted, but I'd be devastated if something ever happened to him.
Don't worry. As far as your overreactions go, that was comparatively mild.
You know what? Here,
What are you doing?
take him. You need him more than I do right now.
You're giving him to me?
Lending, not giving.
Thank you.
You're my friend.
Who just walked out on your sister?
Here's how I see it. You proposed. She said no. She wouldn't tell you why, and you left. Correct?
If you want to shorthand it like that.
Not your fault.
You don't think I should have stayed and worked it out?
Do you honestly believe she would have changed her mind?
Probably not, but at least I might have found out why.
Highly unlikely.
Do you think it's over between us?
I'm not the best person to ask.
Why not? You know us both better than anyone. You must have an opinion.
Maybe I do, but I can't tell you what to do with your life. At least not with anything this important.
Of all the times you could choose not to voice your opinion.
Are you mad?
No, I know it's my decision.
Do you still love her?
We've been together for 4 years. How could I not?
That's what I'm asking you.
People don't fall out of love that quickly.
And if I loved you Wednesday, well, what is that to you? I do not love you Thursday. So much is true. And why you come complaining is more than I can see. I loved you Wednesday, yes, but what is that to me?
What is that?
A poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay. One of my favorites, actually.
Sounds a bit cold.
A little, but the point is you need to figure out your feelings for her before you can make any decision.
Are you asking me to put two and two together again?
I wasn't going to say it, but that's exactly what I mean.
You're right, of course.
You doubted me?
Not at all.
Good, you're learning.
Never expected you to be a fan of poetry.
It's one of my lesser known vices.
I don't know how familiar you are with her other poems, but there's one that I think fits you perfectly.
Oh, do tell.
My candle burns at both ends. It will not last the night. But ah, my foes and oh, my friends, it gives a lovely light.
Wow. I honestly have no idea what to say to that.
How about thank you?
Thank you.
David places Edgar beside him and resumes playing the guitar. The music he plays is a bit less melancholy, but not quite happy, though.
Not keeping you from your work, am I?
Only a little bit, but I have a few days before these pages are due.
You're sure? I can always make myself scarce.
And where would you go? It's not like you can go home.
I'll go to a hotel.
Crash here if you need to.
And where will you sleep?
I won't. I'll work while you sleep. If I do get tired, I'll sleep on the floor.
I can't do that to you.
Get over yourself. It's just for one night. You can go to a hotel tomorrow when you figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life.
Thank you.
Anytime. Can I ask you something?
Always.
When you got here, you were afraid I was going to be pissed at you. Why take your chances anyway?
I needed to tell you my side of the story, even if you never wanted anything to do with me again. I owe you that much.
You don't owe me anything, David. You're the one who helped me out when I needed it.
How about we make a deal? You don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything. I'm there for you if you need me. You're there for me if I need you.
Unless I have a deadline.
You are kidding, right?
Gee, I don't know. That exclusive contract they offered me is going to keep me pretty busy.
You got it?
I did.
Wow.
I know, huh?
Are you going to sign it?
I've only been working toward this goal my whole life.
And you complain about it every chance you get.
I complain about a lot of things, David.
I'm not saying you shouldn't do it.
Could have fooled me.
Look, all I'm saying is make sure you really want it. I would hate to see you waste the next 3 years focusing on someone else's creations.
Even if it's Superman?
Especially if it's Superman. Sorry. Long day, I guess.
Why don't you get some sleep?
I will eventually.
Well, hey, let me at least get some clean sheets on the bed.
That would be very much appreciated. No offense.
None taken. You've got a choice. Scooby-Doo, Star Wars, or Sesame Street.
I don't know. Surprise me.
Tommy tosses a set of sheets to David, who looks at them.
Sesame Street it is. Good choice.
Tommy moves Edgar to the coffee table before they convert the futon into its bed configuration. David bends down to fix a corner of the mattress. As he does so, Tommy snaps the sheet open. When he does, the snapping sheet hits David in the eye.
Ah!
Oh my God, are you okay?
No, it's all right. It was an accident.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were going to bend down like that.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Let me see.
No, I'm fine.
Let me see.
Tommy kneels next to David, who removes his hand from his eye and looks at Tommy. Tommy looks into David's eyes.
So, what's the prognosis, Doc? Will I live?
I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Next time, keep your glasses on. What?
I'm just looking.
Well, I know that. Why?
I just am.
David?
After what seems an eternity, David kisses Tommy who kisses back. As their intensity increases, Tommy suddenly stops and pulls away.
We shouldn't do this.
I'm sorry.
What the fuck are you doing kissing me?
I don't know. I just wanted to.
Is that why you came here tonight? So I'd be your consolation prize?
No, I would never do that to you.
Get away from me.
Tommy, I didn't plan it.
Like that makes it any better.
I'm not using you to get back at Rachel. You have to know that.
Keep telling yourself that.
I said I was sorry.
Apology not accepted.
What else can I do? I promise you, it won't happen again.
And what if I want it to?
Huh?
What if I want it to happen again?
You just yelled at me for kissing.
I know.
Then why would you want
Because
me
I
to
do.
You're not making any sense.
Don't make me have to say it.
You love me.
What were you thinking?
I wasn't. For the first time in my life, I acted without planning it out. You just look different to me. I don't know. I think maybe if I let myself, I could fall for you in a heartbeat.
No.
I'm telling you the truth.
Don't.
Tommy.
What about Rachel?
I don't know.
You spent the last 4 years of your life together. Now all of a sudden she's out of the running and you're falling for me?
I don't know what I'm saying. I just know my feelings for you are separate. They have nothing to do with her.
Boy, you really do go both ways. Do you still love her?
You asked me that a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and then you kissed me, so I'm asking you again.
Yes. I'm sorry if that's not the answer you were hoping for.
How you feel is how you feel.
That doesn't change how I feel about you.
Stop saying that.
Tommy.
What if Rachel suddenly came through that door and said she changed her mind and now wants to marry you?
Do you even understand why I'm upset with her?
Because she turned down your proposal.
No, because she didn't trust me enough to tell me why.
I think trust went out the window when you kissed me.
Please don't make me feel worse than I already do.
So you've never kept anything from her, no matter how small?
No, she knows everything about me. Good, bad, she knows it.
Does she know about your underwear model fetish?
I knew you were going to say that. And yes, she does.
What if I told you she had a good reason?
You know?
I wish I could tell you. It's just...
Stop beating yourself up over a secret that isn't even your own.
Maybe I should have told you long ago. Maybe then you'd be celebrating your engagement tonight instead of...
Realizing how much you mean to me?
Stop it!
In my entire life, I haven't met a single person with a bigger heart than you. Yeah, you can be an ass at times, but you're not afraid to stand up for the people closest to you, even if it makes you the bad guy. I don't deserve a friend like that.
You're just saying that.
You really have no idea what an amazing guy you are. You admit you're in love with me, and you're still defending her.
I just think you should know why.
It's not your responsibility to tell me. It's hers.
I guess. If you had never met Rachel, and we met the same way, would you have been interested in me?
You asked me that before.
Yeah, but you didn't want to answer it.
With good reason.
David, I need to know.
Yes. Back when we met, before your GQ tirade, there was this brief moment where I felt something click between us. I don't know, something very genuine about you those first few moments. Even your corny come on about wanting to be my guide around town.
That wasn't a come on.
Oh, please.
Well, yeah, I wanted to get into your pants, but I really was offering help.
Well, if I had been single, I probably would have taken you up on the offer.
I probably would have liked that.
All things being equal, though, I'm glad it didn't happen that way. I don't think our friendship would be as strong.
True. My emotional baggage would have scared you away.
Tommy, even your baggage had baggage. I really need to talk to Rachel.
Yes, you do.
I'm so sorry. This isn't fair to you.
It is what it is. I'll be fine.
Are you sure?
No. But I will be fine.
David starts toward the door.
Hey, Clark. Didn't you forget something?
Tommy, Edgar belongs with you.
You need him more than I do right now.
Thank you.
But remember, I'm just lending him to you. Don't get too attached.
I really don't deserve you.
David exits. Tommy picks up his guitar from where David left it and tries strumming some basic chords before giving up. Instead, he hugs the guitar to himself as if it were the teddy bear, as the lights fade to black. Act 2, Scene 3. David and Rachel's apartment, 11:30 p.m., same day. There appears to be no one in the apartment. The doorbell sounds. After a moment, Rachel, who clearly has not slept, comes out of the bedroom and ambles to the front door.
Who is it?
It's me.
Why didn't you use your key?
I didn't want to scare you. Can I come in?
Do what you want. Last I checked, you still lived here.
I guess I deserve that.
No, you didn't. It's been a bad day.
How's your father?
Stable. There was no permanent damage, but they want to keep him overnight for observation.
Why didn't you call me? I would have come.
I wasn't ready to see you.
Are you ready now?
You're here, it doesn't matter.
I can leave if you want.
Why'd you come back?
Did you think I wouldn't?
I don't know. I'm not sure I could have blamed you if you didn't. But Tommy had a lot to say.
About your father?
No, about me.
Not really.
Nothing.
Rachel, what are you trying not to ask?
Did he tell you why I said no?
No. I know he knows the reason, but he didn't want to betray your trust.
I'm surprised.
Tommy's a lot more honorable than you give him credit for.
Wait. I have trouble telling you the most difficult thing in my life and you walk out on me. And he refuses to tell you the same thing and suddenly he's honorable?
It wasn't his story to tell.
That's right.
Who are you mad at, me or Tommy?
I am mad at me. This wasn't supposed to happen this way. We were supposed to live happily ever after.
Well, happily ever after is just a fairy tale. I never expected us to be perfect.
I did.
There's something I need to tell you. I kissed Tommy tonight. It's not something I planned on doing, not something either of us planned on, but it happened. I wish I could say it meant nothing to me. But that would be lying, and I won't do that. I don't want to hurt you, but I can't lie to you.
Get out.
We need to talk about this.
Get out, David.
No. Yell at me all you want. Hit me if you feel you need to. But remember, you're not the only one who's been hurt.
Explain this to me, David. Explain how in one day you can go from asking me to be your wife to fooling around with my brother?
It's only a kiss, nothing more.
Oh, and that's supposed to make a difference to me that you didn't fuck him. I guess I shouldn't be mad.
You have every right to be mad. What I did was inexcusable. You can hate me for the rest of your life, but remember, I was honest enough to tell you. Can you say the same?
Don't you dare try to turn this around on me.
Rachel, I am taking responsibility no matter what. I still don't know what you've been hiding.
You want to know? Fine. I'll tell you. I can't have kids, David. Before I met you, I had one night stand and I got pregnant. I didn't know it though until I miscarried, and the damage, it was pretty extensive.
I'm sorry.
Well, that makes two of us.
I wish I had known. I could have helped you.
How? Damage was done long before I met you.
How about the healing? Don't you think I could have helped with that?
How was I supposed to know that you would stick around?
How could you even think that?
Well, you've always wanted kids of your own. Why would you waste your time with someone who can't give you what you want?
Yeah, I admit it. I wanted a family, but at the end of the day, you were what I wanted most.
And yet, at the end of the day, you were locking lips with my brother.
What do you want me to say? Do you want me to tell you it didn't mean anything? That I got caught up in the moment or some bullshit like that? I can't say that to you. When I kissed him, it meant something. It meant more than I ever thought it would.
That must have been one hell of a kiss to screw you up like that.
Why are you making it sound like you are the only injured party here? What did you hope to accomplish by keeping it a secret?
I wanted it to go away. As long as I didn't have to admit it, then it wouldn't be real to me.
So you kept pushing me away so you wouldn't have to feel your loss?
Okay. I made a mistake that night, and I have been paying for it ever since.
It wasn't your fault.
But if I'd been more careful, I could have caught it in time.
Or the very same thing could have happened when we tried to conceive.
I'm sorry. I should have told you.
Are you sorry I told you about the kiss?
No. But I don't have to like it. Why'd you have to kiss him in the first place?
You really want to know?
Yes.
Well, I went to his place to talk about what happened. But when I got there, he already knew. Fully expected him to be on your side, but no. He supported me. As the evening went on, I kept noticing little things he would do to make sure I was okay, as if I were the only thing that mattered in the world. I'm used to being the one to take care of people. It felt good to be taken care of for a change.
David shows Rachel Tommy's teddy bear.
That looks like Edgar. He actually gave him to you?
Well, he lent him to me. But yeah.
He hasn't let that bear out of his sight since he got him.
I know. But he thought I needed him more than he did.
He loves you, doesn't he?
He does.
Did you know that before you kissed him?
No. I'm sure I suspected it, but he did nothing to encourage me. I'm the one who kissed him, not the other way around. I'm the one to blame, not him. I'm sorry, Rachel. I never wanted to hurt you.
Shh. I know.
Rachel instinctively and without realizing it hugs him. The two continue to hold each other for a few more moments before Rachel pulls away.
You need to go.
Rachel.
I need you to go.
I do love you, Rachel.
And I love you. But right now, I really need to hate you.
Reluctantly, David exits as the lights fade to black. Act 2, Scene 4. Tommy's apartment, 3 a.m. the following morning. Tommy holds the door open as Rachel pushes past him. Neither one of them look like they have stopped since we last saw them.
He's not here.
I'm not looking for him.
And you know, wonderful.
Rachel wanders around the room, taking in her surroundings, almost like for the first time. Tommy studies her as she goes, unsure of her intentions and what to do about them. She stops in front of his drawing board and looks at the page on it.
So that's dispatch, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I hate the costume.
Me too. But my editor loves it, so I tolerate it. I'm hoping my next assignment will give me a bit more control over the look and feel. Then again, how much control can I really have if I didn't create the characters in the first place?
I really don't care.
Hey, I'm just talking until you decide how to chew me out.
Well, don't. I sent him away.
Okay.
So when you see him, you'll know why.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
You said enough yesterday.
Rachel.
You don't deserve him. That is what you said,
I
right?
never said I did.
Oh, you didn't have to. I knew what you meant.
Rachel, I was angry, that's all.
Will you just admit it?
Why are you here?
How long has this been going on with you?
Does it matter?
Just answer the question.
It's not that simple.
It never is with you.
That's because things are never simple. How long have I had feelings for him? I don't know. How long have I known? I don't know. When we met at the hospital, when he kissed me, I don't know. It doesn't matter. You two belong together.
And still you kissed him.
No, he kissed me.
Semantics.
I would never do that to you.
It's the same result either way.
David loves you.
I could say the same about you.
No, I'm a distraction, nothing more.
Yeah, well, you didn't see him.
Maybe I don't want to.
Same old Tommy. Avoids what he doesn't want to deal with.
Am I the pot or the kettle in this scenario?
I'm dealing with it. Do you think I want to have this conversation with you?
You're here, aren't you?
Oh, don't be smug.
I don't know what you want from me.
I finally told him about me.
And
he was okay with it.
I'm sorry.
Don't say I told you so. You lost that privilege.
I love how everyone thinks I'm this know-it-all prick who enjoys fucking with people's lives.
Well, whether or not you enjoy it, you still do it.
I already feel bad enough. I don't need you to make it worse.
And what do you need, Tommy? David?
Stop it.
I'm serious.
If I could change what happened, I would.
And what exactly is what?
What do you mean? The whole thing.
But where would you draw the line?
I don't know. Last night.
So you've erased the kiss. How does that change anything?
Well, we wouldn't be having this conversation, first of all.
Do you want to go back to the hospital? Take back what you said there? Because it still won't change anything.
So I go back to the day I met him. I erase our whole friendship.
And while you're changing history, why not fix what happened with Stephen?
Leave him out of this.
Why? Erase that day and Stephen lives. You and he live happily ever after, or do you?
I don't know.
That's right. You don't. You never got a chance to live that what if.
Yeah, the choice was taken away from me.
No, your choice was not to fight for him.
Now who's talking semantics?
It doesn't change anything. As much as I would love to blame you for all of this, I can't. I'm the one who miscarried. I'm the one who hid the damage.
We both hid it.
Oh, from Mom and Dad. Who hid it from David? Who ran from the subject every time it came up?
You were being way too rational.
What choice do I have? I need to break this cycle somehow. We both do.
How?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be here.
I suppose I should be grateful you're here at all.
Yeah, well.
Does that mean we're okay?
Are you really that naive? No, we are not.
Well, I thought...
Okay, what? Because I haven't pounded you through a wall. You think everything's all better? No, I am beyond pissed at you, Tommy.
Then so let me have it already.
I make it easy for you. No. Deal with it yourself.
How many times am I supposed to apologize?
I don't want your apology. I don't even care about your apology. If I forgive you, when I forgive you, it'll be for my peace of mind, not yours.
So what am I supposed to do? Wait around until you can stand being near me again?
How about you live your own life for a change? Stop waiting for Superman to fly in and fix things for you. It's what I plan on doing.
Since when do you have all the answers?
Maybe when the questions stop making sense.
Will you at least promise me one thing?
No.
Don't give up on David, please.
I said no. You don't get to make that decision for me.
Okay. I get it.
Good. Then we're done.
And what if I want to continue a friendship with him?
You didn't wait for my permission before. Why do you need it now?
With that, Rachel exits silently while Tommy watches her. He stares around the room for a moment before fixing on his guitar. He brushes his hand across it and it makes a small sound. He then turns his gaze to the drawing board and the illustration resting there. Quickly, he snatches it, rips it in half, and then in half again, and lets the pieces fall to the floor. Satisfied and energized, he grabs at his t-shirt, yanks it off, and tosses it to the ground as the lights fade to black. Act 2, Scene 5. Hospital waiting room. 3:00 p.m. the following day. John is sitting in a wheelchair, restless. Although he looks haggard, he is definitely on the road to recovery. He is dressed, ready to go, and he makes no effort to hide his impatience at the indignity of having to be escorted out in a wheelchair. Mary is sitting in a chair opposite him, knitting.
Where's that doctor of mine?
He's making his rounds. He'll be here.
What's the point of telling me I can go home if they keep me waiting for the doctor?
What's your hurry?
You know very well I have work to do.
You know very well you're not going to do it. You need to rest. You just had a heart attack.
I know what I had.
Tommy enters unseen. Instead of a Superman t-shirt, he is wearing a plain white one.
Don't push me on this. You'll find I can be a lot more stubborn than you when I want to be.
You'd better listen to her. She's not bluffing.
What's he doing here?
Maybe you should ask him.
That's never going to happen, Mom.
Mary pulls Tommy aside out of John's earshot.
What are you doing here?
Something that should have been done years ago, I guess. You think I could have a few minutes alone with him?
Is that really a good idea?
Actually, it's one of the better ideas I've had in a long time. Don't worry, I'll be on my best behavior.
You have a lot of nerve showing up after yesterday.
You don't need to tell me that.
I think I do.
Mom, you were right. Everything you said about me yesterday. Everything. I'm really trying here.
I don't want another scene.
If there is one, it won't be my doing. I promise.
All right. But remember, I'll be right down the hall.
But where do you think you're going?
I'll see if I can track down that doctor of yours.
Don't leave me with him.
Talk to your son. It'll do you both good.
Mary exits, but stays within earshot.
Mind if I sit down? Thanks. Look, you don't have to worry. I'm not going to stay too long. I just want to say what I have to say, and I'll get out of your life for good if that's what you want. Nothing, huh? I don't know what you're worried about. It's just you and me. No one will know. Okay? Have it your way. It's not like I really need you to say anything anyway. I just came by to see how you were and to tell you I forgive you.
And what happens next in your little fantasy? Maybe we can call your mother back and we can spend the rest of the afternoon braiding each other's hair.
Wow, how long have you been saving that one? Aren't you the least bit curious what I'm forgiving you for?
No.
Thanks for your support. I'm forgiving you because I can't hold the anger in any longer. I'm forgiving you because I have to in order to find some semblance of happiness.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me.
I'm forgiving, but I'm not forgetting. Because you couldn't see beyond your narrow view of the world. One of the kindest people I've ever known is dead. You remember Stephen, don't you? The other boy whose life you destroyed? Stephen killed himself because he thought I abandoned him. I can't forget that. I know you didn't plan for that to happen when you stopped us. It was his choice, not mine, not yours.
About time you figured that out.
Tell me one thing, Dad. How were you able to flip a switch in your mind and cut off any affection you had for me? In one split second, I no longer existed. I kept thinking, he's just mad. He'll get over it someday. He'll love me again. But 19 years later, I still see nothing in your eyes when you look at me. I'm done waiting for something that's never going to come. I've got more important things to focus on. I'm finally where I want to be in my career. I'm finally comfortable with who I am, and I'm finally in a place where I can feel love for somebody again. If I've learned one thing from you, Dad, it's how to depend on myself to get something done. I think it was a piss poor way to teach me that life lesson, but I did learn. So I guess I have to thank you. For what it's worth, I don't hate you. As a matter of fact, just between you and me, I love you, Dad. And I hope you feel better. You can stop eavesdropping at the door, Mom. I'm done.
I've never been more proud of you than I am right now.
Don't be. I never should have let it get this far.
Oh, who cares how long it took? The fact that you were able to do it at all is what I'm proud of.
I have to go, Mom. Call me if you need me. Any last words before I go? I didn't think so.
Tommy exits.
Don't give me that look.
Nice to know someone is man enough to change in this family.
Mary returns to her knitting as the lights fade to black. Act 2, Scene 6. Hot off the press coffee shop. 2:00 p.m., a Friday in July, 3 years later. I should probably mention that this last scene takes place after the final episode of the Putting Two and Two Together podcast. It's a final episode that is actually multiple seasons away and actually hasn't even been written yet. But needless to say, spoiler warnings are in effect. But don't worry, in the context of the podcast, the end of the journey is much less important than how they get there. With that said, David and Rachel are sitting at one of the tables. Each of them is now wearing a ring on their left hands. In addition, David is not wearing his glasses, and Rachel has an infant in her arms. She sings and coos to the baby as she feeds him a bottle.
Look at you. You're a natural.
Oh, you're just saying that.
When have I ever said something I didn't mean?
He looks just like you.
Really? I don't see it.
Especially when he smiles, which he does a lot.
Yeah, he's a happy baby, all right.
Stop looking at your watch already. They'll be here. I'm sure the world traveler just wanted to stop one more store on the way from the airport.
Well, he is her first grandchild. Of course she's going to spoil him rotten.
You're okay with that?
Sure. Gives her something happy to focus on. Your father's death hit her pretty hard.
Can you blame her? His first attack was hard enough to deal with. The one he had last year was just brutal. I don't think I'd be able to handle it if I were in her place.
Well, of course you would. You're one of the strongest women I know.
Stop.
I'm serious.
Ooh, uh-oh. Guess what time it is, Daddy?
I was afraid of that. Here, let me take him.
That's okay. I can change him.
That's all right. It'll give me something to do while I'm waiting.
Oh, so my company isn't good enough for you anymore.
I'm not even going to respond.
You better not.
I'll be right back.
David goes into the men's room with the baby. Rachel sips her coffee as Tommy and Mary walk in. Tommy is not wearing a t-shirt at all this time. Instead, he wears a fashionable button-down shirt. He still wears the jeans and sneakers, though. Tommy is precariously carrying multiple shopping bags along with a guitar case. Mary also has her arms full of shopping bags.
Never again.
What? Are you saying I shouldn't get anything for my grandson?
No, I just think you should leave something in the store for somebody else's grandson.
Stick to writing children's books, dear. Comedy isn't your strong suit.
Doing a little shopping?
Don't even start. It's bad enough the entire backseat is full of her luggage.
Tommy unconsciously plays with the ring on his left hand. Rachel notices and grabs for it, but he pulls his hand away.
You're going to have to get used to that ring sooner or later.
What makes you think I haven't?
Where is he?
Diaper detail.
Oh, fun.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Spoken by someone who doesn't have to do it all the time.
I read your book.
Oh, really?
Quite the far cry from Dispatch.
Quite the far cry from anything I've done.
You said you wanted to do your own stuff.
But writing kids' books?
Is it all that different from drawing comics?
I guess not. Not in any way that matters.
Well, there you go.
It's funny how life has a way of slapping you in the face when you're not paying attention.
Was that a dig?
At one time it might have been.
And now?
Get over yourself.
David enters with the baby.
Well, it's about time you two got here.
It was her.
Oh, enough already.
Hey, you.
Hey, yourself.
Tommy gives David a quick yet tender kiss on the lips. Tommy then takes the baby from David and brings him to Mary.
Mom, I want you to meet Stephen Clark Hanson Sharpe.
Oh, he's adorable.
Be careful with his head, Mom.
Talk about overprotective fathers. You'd think I'd have never held a baby before.
Rachel pulls David aside.
I don't think I'm ever going to get used to Tommy as a father.
Oh, come on. Who better to raise a child than Peter Pan himself?
What does that make you, Tinkerbell?
Rachel,
You walked right into that one, David.
I have to ask, how are you?
As far as,
Stephen,
didn't you just tell me I was a natural?
come on.
Yeah, there's some difficulty, I won't lie to you, but that doesn't mean I'm not happy for you. Certainly can't fault you for getting what you wanted.
I know, but
I'm okay. If I'm meant to have kids someday, I will.
wait, I thought that...
So did I. I was so afraid of it happening again that, I just slammed that door shut.
You mean it's possible?
I don't know. It's all very risky, but when the time is right, we'll see.
I hope it works out for you.
Thank you. So tell me, you happy?
Very much so.
I'm glad. You two deserve it.
Thank you. That means a lot. Speaking of deserving happiness, Tommy tells me you and Jason have set a date.
We did. November 12th. Make sure you mark it on your calendar.
I will. But are you sure you want me to give you away? That seems a bit awkward.
No more awkward than my ex-boyfriend becoming my brother-in-law.
You named your boy Stephen.
Believe it or not, it was David's idea. He wanted to keep his memory alive.
That's sweet. And Clark is for Superman, right?
Not exactly.
Oh, what exactly?
You're going to have to ask David.
I'm not sure I want to know.
Up to you.
I'm surprised Edgar didn't make the list of names.
I gotta be honest with you, Mom. I never liked that name.
Well, I happen to know for a fact that Stephen did. No, not the baby.
What are you talking about?
Who do you think gave him the idea for the beer?
Tommy moves his guitar from its case and begins to play softly.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry how things ended for us.
You've already apologized. We don't need to keep going down this road.
I'm sorry, but there's one thing in my life I regret. It's hurting you.
Good. Because it did hurt.
I know.
And I did hate you for a long time.
What changed your mind?
I realized I hated myself even more. I wasn't fair to you.
It still doesn't excuse what I did to you.
The thing is, you didn't do it to me. You simply did it.
Maybe so, but
We can't keep clinging to the past and the mistakes that we made, no matter how much they still hurt. We both deserve a second chance.
Thank you.
But if you ever do that to Tommy, hate won't even begin to describe my feelings for you.
You don't ever have to worry about that.
Mind if I ask you something?
Should I be afraid?
No, feel free to say it's none of my business, but I was wondering, do you still see yourself as bi?
Of course. Why wouldn't I?
Well, I mean, since you found the love of your life and he's a guy and...
Let me put it this way. If Tommy were Tammy and everything else happened the same way, I'd still make the same choice. What?
Nothing. I remembered a joke Jason made when I first told him about you. I'm not sure I should repeat it though.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's pretty bad.
I consider myself warned.
He said that you're always going to find yourself stuck between a rack and a hard place.
Oh, that was horrible.
I told you.
Remind me to thank him, please.
So how does it feel?
Like nothing else I've ever known.
Good thing you're used to being up all hours of the night.
Good thing he likes my guitar playing.
Now that's something I never thought I'd see.
Mom, do you think I'll be a good father?
Of course you will, dear. Look at what you've accomplished for yourself so far.
I don't want to turn out like Dad.
You never will. Don't worry.
How can you be so sure?
Because if you do, I'll be there to kick your butt.
I'm serious. As much as I hate to admit it, I am my father's son.
Well, that may be true, but there's one thing you're forgetting. You're also your mother's son.
I'm still afraid, though.
Welcome to being a parent, dear.
So, is everyone ready to head out? Good? All right, let's go.
Rachel, can you and Mom load the stuff in the car while David and I get Steven together?
Sure. Come on, Mom. Mom.
I knew it was a mistake giving him to her.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, you'll have plenty of time with him later.
Tommy takes Stephen from Mary, who reluctantly surrenders him.
I'll hold you to that.
I'm sure you will.
Rachel and Mary gather the shopping bags and exit. David puts Stephen's belongings in a diaper bag.
That seems to go well.
It did. Then again, I wasn't worried.
Oh, really? How many times did you look at your watch before we arrived?
I love you.
I know.
It's quite the journey we've had, huh?
Good thing you were reading GQ and not Reader's Digest. We might have never gotten together.
You mean they don't have underwear ads in Reader's Digest?
Not the last time I checked.
David smiles at Tommy and picks up the diaper bag, and Tommy gets up with Stephen in his arms.
By the way, I finally figured out what you got when you put 2 and 2 together.
Oh? What?
A family.
You are so corny sometimes.
But am I wrong?
I love you.
The two kiss tenderly. After a moment, David removes Edgar from the diaper bag and gives it to Tommy, who in turn gives it to Stephen. The three exit as the lights fade to black.